Alright, so we're going to go over some basic things that you're going to do or look for when you're doing a pre-tip inspection. We'll start off, this is the passenger side of the vehicle in the engine bay. And once again, while you're coming in here, you're going to check your lug nuts, check your rims, make sure there's no cracks or anything like that in the rim. Check your oil level in your hub. Check your tire. Once again, at the lowest point anywhere on the tire is where it's measured. Steer axle is 4/30 seconds, drive axle is 2/30 seconds. Now, then you come on in further and you're going to look at your Dapco filter. When your Dapco filter fuel level is up here, that means it needs to be replaced, inspected, and everything like that. Then you'll come from that, you'll kind of just look over everything, make sure you don't see any fluids on the engine, dark fluids or antifreeze will leave like a white residue. So you'll kind of notice that, anywhere on the engine. When you're looking at your turbo, come over here and you look at the part right here and make sure there's no oil coming out anywhere. All the clamps are present and nothing looks like out of place. While you're on this side, you check your coolant level, make sure it's up here, between the minimum and max, preferably more towards the max when it's cold. And then while you're there, you check your air filter. You just basically look in there. This one is pretty new, but you'll see a lot of dirt build up, anything like that. But on these Volvos, they have this restriction gauge. Now, when the air filter has restriction, this restriction gauge, the yellow part right here, will come down all the way to the point where it's in the red and it says change. If you ever see it in the red and it says change, you obviously have a problem or a clogged air filter. While you're over here, you can take the fan with the engine off and kind of shake the fan, make sure it's not loose, there's no breaks in it, anything like that. Check your belt, make sure there's no cracks, anything like that in your belt. It all looks pretty good. And then you just kind of look over everything as you're coming out. You could come down here and kind of look in the wheel, and once again check your brakes, make sure there's no cracks. This is the bottom brake right here, and then there's a top brake over here. Both of those brake shoes will need to be checked for cracks or damage or wear. And then while you're in here, make sure there's no oil leaking onto the tire, no oil coming out of the brake shoes, anything like that. Another common thing that we see on these is the clevis pin right here will be missing, or this little clip will be missing out of here. Just make sure all that is present and this is hooked up, properly. And that's basically what you want to check while you're on the driver's side.